Hello.
Hi. This is very exciting for me. I'm like, this is crazy.
Oh, we've used all your time.
What?
We used all your time.
Okay, so I am very, very critical and judgmental, especially with myself. And I've been...
Stop it.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I have this aggressive...
So what we were saying before you started speaking was sort of the answer to what you were going to say, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get out now.
But how?
You're critical towards yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think that you are just regurgitating thoughts that you've been thinking for a while? And do you think you were under the influence of anybody else's thoughts?
Yeah, so I grew up in a highly critical environment and in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
so...
But you know what? We want to tell you something really important. We really want you to feel the fullness of this. It'll sink in, it will make you feel good, and it'll give you a good basis for what comes next right here. It's not just when you're in an environment that's critical that you can tend to be critical of yourself. Do you know it happens even more often when you're in an environment where there are people who tune in and who hold you as their object of attention and who just love you so much, and it just feels so good, and you just want that and only that, and then you go out into the world where most people aren't tuned in, and the shock of the love that is natural and that you got used to, the shock of the absence of that in a society or a world that's just running around, just really freaks. You could say, I'm that way because people were critical, and others could say, I'm that way because I had this one person, usually my grandmother or someone, a mentor, often a teacher, who when they held me it felt so good, and then everything else felt so bad.
Well, I feel like, because I'm a singer and a musician, and when I sing, I know I'm channeling higher consciousness,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It's like all the tension melts away and everything, and then...
And you're under that influence.
It's so nice. And
Yeah.
then I have to interact with people. And they're finicky and...
But you know, Esther used to say occasionally, people are so mean. And Jerry would say, not all of them. Or people are so dumb. When something would happen, and Jerry would say, not all of them. All of the people are not critical. Your inner being is a nice place to communicate, but everyone is not critical. But when you get this mindset that they are, then law of attraction can't make a path of least resistance and therefore line you up with those who are loving. We sort of want you to get where our friend that we were just talking to is, where you don't need them to love you in order to be love.
Yeah.
You're not looking for love in all the wrong places anymore.
Well, I fully get that. Like, a lot of the time, I'm just like, oh my God, humans are so perfectly imperfect and funny.
Yeah.
And we all are so neurotic. And then, like, I'll love everyone so much and just laugh.
But think about those piles that we mixed all up. And some of them are under the influence of source and some of them aren't in the moment in time when you rendezvous. But the question that you want to ask is, what influence was I under? Because that's why I rendezvoused with them under the influence of what they're under. If you're feeling vulnerable and victim, then you're going to rendezvous with them when they're like that. And if you're tapped in, tuned in, turned on, you're going to rendezvous with them when they're like that. And you came to a flawed premise that when you're doing your music, that nothing's in your way, but that when you're doing your human interaction, that humans are in your way. And it's only your perception that puts something in the way or nothing in the way.
I think it's just fear. Because sometimes I'm like...
Fear is you crossways of the current of your inner being. Fear is like satisfied gone wrong. Fear is far from satisfied. Fear is what you feel like when your inner being's over here and you're over here. Fear is what it feels like when you have a different opinion about this moment in time than your inner being does. You hear what's happening? Instead of going along with what your inner being knows, you're going along with what they're doing, and then you're blaming them because you went along with them.
Yeah. Well, I also have to say that I've been non-stop listening to your YouTube videos for years and really trying to implement them, but my inner critic uses that to like bash me over the head. It's like, you thought a bad thought, you did this wrong.
That's why we're wanting your emotional guidance system to not be something that you judge yourself about. We want it to be something where you know where you are vibrationally. Until these things are known by you, until you accept that you are more than this magnificent body. Do you accept that you're more?
Yes.
And do you accept that that more that you are is consciousness aware of you?
Yes.
And do you accept that that consciousness that is aware of you is always aware of you, not just sometimes, always aware of you?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're playing music, aware of you. When you're interacting with humans, aware of you. Can you accept that the better you feel, the more like your inner being you are being in that moment? Now we have a question. Do you think that your inner being, this is so good, do you think that your inner being would ever be critical of you?
No.
For any reason?
No.
Then when you're being critical of you, do you accept that you've moved away from your inner being?
Yeah.
And do you accept that it is the moving away from your inner being that makes you feel bad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you follow that logic?
Yeah.
So when you say, I am my worst critic, you want to say, of course you are. You're the only one that can cause a rift between you and you.
Right. So that's everybody.
Nobody else has that power. That is everybody. Understanding it, then you stop giving all the power to all the misbehaviors.
Yeah.
You've stopped giving the power to the misbehaviors because you want them to like you. But you've turned on yourself instead. Somebody's got to pay for the way I feel right now. Got to be mad at somebody, because innately, from the very core of your being, you know for sure that you're supposed to be feeling good. That's what's natural. And when you don't, it's like something's really jacked up.
Yeah. So I just want to share that the law of attraction I've been practicing since I was about 16, so I'm 27 now.
Been aware of it?
Yeah. And
do you practice the law of gravity, or does it just have its way with you?
It has its way with me, but that
law of attraction's the same. You don't practice it, it just does its thing.
Positive thinking, like I've rode the wave so
what
much.
You want to say, I've been practicing attunement with who I really am.
But I think I've experienced so much contrast at this point that when I give up on something, I'm like, okay, I'm done, I'm throwing in the towel. Someone offers me a huge record deal or something like that just happened to me, and I'm like,
you never give up your desires. What you give up is your resistance.
Yeah.
So when you reach that place, we think that your world is sort of reaching that place where there's so much bickering and so much controversy about so many things that you're not privy to the inside story of, that you're just reaching the place of saying, I don't want to think about this anymore, because you can't make sense of it. And when you reach that place of giving up, then all that your vortex became while you were in all of that struggle, then you have access to. So then there's that breakthrough, like what you just described.
So I'll tell you real quick what happened, because it's a crazy story, but
it's not crazy, it's law of attraction in action.
Okay, so I had extreme PTSD and panic disorder, and I just started isolating.
So you talk slowly, and we'll interpret for you as you go along. You'll enjoy this. And when you talk, we'll listen, and when we talk, you listen, all right?
Okay.
So
deal.
Repeat the sentence that you just made.
I had PTSD.
I had things that I focused upon that did not allow me connection with the fullness of who I am. And I felt pain in that discord.
Okay. What's confusing about that is I blocked all the memories out and my body just started shaking and stuff.
What's confusing about that is that I was offering vibrations that I wasn't conscious about, but my guidance system was aware of the vibrations that I was offering, so my guidance system was working anyway.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Focused upon.
Ooh, that part with the guidance system.
Well, I'm just a lone
Oops. It is a phenomenal, amazing, Tranquil Thursday. Sorry, I was saying welcome to Tranquil Thursday with Warrior Spirit. That was one of my newest favorite songs called Keep On Rising. It was given to me by a friend of mine, and I really love it. It pepped me up. Today is a fantastic, amazing day, and we are going to do part 2 of my series, Awakening Your Reality, a spiritual guide to transformation. I'm not sure how many parts are going to be in the series, but we're moving through it. So last week, well, let's just start with some sage and then we'll go into it. We're going to burn some sage, clear out any energy that no longer serves us, anything that has been stuck to our aura, anything that has been plaguing you mentally, emotionally, physically. And we're going to allow it to rise up off of our aura. I love how it looks with the and let it breathe. Yes. We're going to begin with gratitude like we do every Thursday and every morning on meditation mornings as well. Gratitude is the foundation where all good things come from. I am grateful for, well, before I start, if you have anything you're grateful for, please put it in the chats. I am grateful for God, universe, source, creator, great spirit, all one and the same. I'm grateful for this life and the breath of life within me. I'm grateful to be of service. I'm grateful for my family, my friends, my team. I'm grateful for I Am Academy, DCX, and MMX. I'm grateful for trading. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for Florida weather. I'm grateful for my rising ritual. And we are going to go over just real quickly what the first part was last week so that we can move into the second part of the series. So last week was the part 1 of the Awakening Your Reality, a spiritual guide to transformation. And we went over the first 2 steps. So the first 2 steps were, the first step was sick and tired of being sick and tired, which is the point of contrition in many people's lives where you can recognize your own shit, literally, and you're so sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that was step number 1, is that recognition. I told some of my story on, and you can go on my YouTube and watch last week's as well. But I told some of my story on you know, how I got to the point and where I was in my life when I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know, and what happened after that. You know, once you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you go into recognition mode. Like, what are my habits? What are my thoughts? What are my behaviors? And it's a recognition of you and what you're doing to you. And then step number 2 we went over last week was the beginning of the deprogram mode. Deprogram mode, your mind, which we call the monkey mind, your mind is a computer. So throughout your life, it's been programmed from birth till where you are right now with many different sensory inputs. And that deprogram mode is how we begin to pull out all of the old programs from our computer and, you know, begin to clear that energy, traumas, pains, things that you hold on to, things that happened, even one sentence somebody said to you when you were in middle school. You know, all of these things create your program that are auto playing over and over again, responses, auto responses, all different kinds of pieces. So those 2 steps are really integral in the process and in the beginning of, like, how do I transform my life? How do I help me? How do I work on myself? You know, and those are questions that begin in the sick and tired of being sick and tired step. So today we're going to go over part 2, and I'm going to go over 2 more steps today. So from where we were at the deep program, the deep program is many different pieces. Like I said, you can go back and watch it on the YouTube, but once you're sufficiently, and let me backtrack a minute, because in reality, we are consistently deprogramming because we're constantly changing. We have many different points in our lives. I'm 42 years young, and in my 42 years, there have been several moments that I can think of that we would call like dark night of the soul or awakenings, things like that, like major points in your life of something you went through. Some people in the Western world may call it like a nervous breakdown energy. Like, I don't claim any of that, but sometimes it could feel like that because there are points of contrition where you just, what is happening in my life? What is going on? And then you have all these questions and all this energy popping through you, and you're coming to breakthrough moments. So then we get to step number 3. Step number 3 is the beginning of the reprogram sequence, version 1. Because just like I was saying about deprogramming, we're going to have to be reprogramming throughout our time and come back around again and back around again, because we are always faced with things, lessons for deeper meaning, deeper lessons, and those things that come up can be deprogrammed, reprogrammed. So the beginning of the reprogram, and I call it a sequence because each of these pieces that come to you, if you really reference your mind and your brain as a computer program, you can truly use the terms and the visualizations that go along with that. Because every single thing you do is energy, everything you do is intention. Like, even if you sit around and watch TV all day, you're still setting an intention to sit around and watch TV all day. So if you can use your intention for positive and something that can fuel your energy and assist you along your path, it would be more behooving of you to do so with your time, because this is the only life that we have in this body. So the beginning of the reprogram sequence, version 1.0, is, I have like A through E. So A is your awareness of thought. With that awareness of thought, like, well, warrior spirit, how do I get to the awareness of thought? How do I get to the point where I'm more aware? And one of the major keys to that is stillness moving into meditation. I do meditation mornings for a very intentional purpose. The intentional purpose behind meditation mornings is because that's the beginning of the reprogram. Is that if you can meditate, even if it's, and we're going to go into step number 2, which kind of ties in with the pieces of the routine, but that awareness of thought is your ability to quiet down all of the constant sensory. A lot of people describe they have racing thoughts. They have a lot of consistent things that keep entering their mind in a negative way. And those things are literally like roadblocks in your road. And if you're having racing negative thoughts, how do we change that? How do we throw a defrag in there? We need to be able to defrag our computers, and that reprogram mode is that. So beginning with stillness, even if you take 5 minutes, and if you're not already a meditator, a daily practice meditator, then that 5 minutes can be difficult sometimes. Because even if you're just sitting in one space for 5 minutes and you don't have any, no phone, no nothing around you, no noise, no anything, that you have many thoughts that are coming in. And you can meditate in many different ways. There's meditative showers, meditative walks. There's, sitting there quietly. There is laying down. There's so many different ways that you can do the meditation. But that stillness is key. And as your thoughts come in, it doesn't mean that you don't know how to meditate, because everyone, even seasoned meditators, have thoughts that come in. But the more that you practice it, the more that you recognize as the thoughts come in, you allow them to just float through. You don't latch on to the thoughts. And, in the beginning times when I was like really practicing becoming a daily meditator, I would acknowledge my thoughts as they came in, and then I would concentrate on my breath. That's a little trick. It's a master key trick. So that when you have a lot of thoughts, instead of allowing your thoughts to take over and you attaching and latching to the thoughts, you take your time and you say things within your mind like in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And you focus on your breathing. And that focus on your breathing brings you more and more into the depths of your inner sanctum. So meditation and stillness is the first piece of the reprogramming, because we want to quiet the mind and open the heart. Quiet the mind and open the heart. So the second piece of that is to begin your error out program, is what I call it. Your error out program is your ability to recognize these thoughts, which comes with the meditation and stillness, to recognize the thoughts that do not work for you, that are negative, that are harmful to you and those around you, because your thoughts are, your thoughts create for you every step of the way. So the beginning of the error out program is just that. Error message, error message, error message. When you catch the thought, you can literally close your eyes and you say to yourself, I removed this thought. What I did was I canceled this thought. And you can see it coming out of your brain, because visualization tools help so much. You can see the thought coming out of your brain, and then you want to replace it with a more positive thing, a more positive ulterior thing. Like say you're talking about yourself with weight, fat. You can take that thought, remove it, cancel it, pull it out, and replace it with I am beautiful. And replacing with the alternative in the positive is the key to that. Is that if you can cancel thoughts all day, but if you're not replacing them with a positive alternative, you're missing a step. It's like a little connector. So, and we even go further than that to actual computer code. Our brain is a literal actual computer. This vehicle vessel is our housing, our casing. We funnily call it a meat suit. The meat suit that is the housing for our computer and our immaculate soul. So error code, Control Alt F4, and these things like this, they're things that you can hold on to, things that you can literally place into your mind as a recognition point for removal of thought. We all need little tricks and tools to trick our brains for reprogram. Our brains, even during the deprogram, it fights us. It's not like, oh, this is so easy, yay, because if it was so easy, then the whole world would be doing it. But that's what we're doing now. We are spreading this information. We are teaching and teaching as much as we possibly can to all those around us. When we learn it, we apply it and then teach it to others. So backtrack, Control Alt F4, the removal of thought. And you can take this and don't let it go over your head. Realize the simple fact of your intention plus your energy plus your visualization is creation. So after you begin that reprogram, which canceling, removing thought, you're going to be replacing. So the next step is to run the new affirmation code. Flood the mainframe. It's defragging your circuitry. So flooding the mainframe with the new affirmation code is literally flooding. And those affirmations that you want to tell yourself in your brain, you pick the ones that work for you, pick the ones that that make you feel empowered, that make you feel light, that make you feel smiley. And you literally repeat them over and over and over again in your brain. You allow that to be the thoughts that are moving within your mainframe. I am powerful. I am loving. I am compassionate. I am strong. I am faithful. I am. And you are running those as the new program that you're putting into the mainframe, your new affirmation code. The affirmations is an integral piece. When I was down and out and just crying in the corner and so knee deep in my own low vibration that I created with all of my depression that I lived within, when I came to my points, I spent so much time. I'm sorry, Mom. I lost my train of thought. That's on your end of things. Anyway, I spent so much time making a loop of affirmations in my brain, over and 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 over for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, because it takes constant repetition to rid yourself of all that old programming. And even when you've pulled it out and removed it, you have to replace it. It's part of the process of the toroidal flow. You have to replace it. So when we go further than that, there are other pieces too. Affirmation. High vibrational music is a big piece as well. I mean, many people love music, but a lot of the old mainstream music has frequencies that continue to allow you to remain in the low vibration. It was designed that way. And what are they talking about in the songs? That's an energy. So what we want to do is create an energy of elevation, an energy of 528 hertz all the way to 999 hertz. Between 528 and 999, there's other hertz points, and they're all of the higher elevation, higher frequency. So if you tune in to higher vibration music, there's some artists like Chris and Teeb, Tony Jones, Beautiful Chorus, Illuminati Congo. There's a huge list, and if you would like, you can get with me and I can send you all my high vibration playlists to fill your mainframe with positivity. And I want to take a pause here real quick and talk about what do they call it? See, I don't even associate with it, so it's out of my brain, but toxic positivity. The term toxic positivity was coined so that you would feel like you were doing something wrong attempting to change your mainframe into positive. So keep that in mind when people say, oh, you're just being toxic positivity. Habaja. There are ways that are toxic, yes. But if you are attempting to defrag, attempting to reprogram, and you are doing it with affirmation, high vibration, and filling yourself with positive, that's the way. There's a different line of energy that comes from once you've done it enough, it becomes your lifestyle. How can something be toxic when you are literally reprogramming all of the old programs that have been stuck on repeat for your whole life? Toxic positivity has a lot to do with not feeling your feelings. And in this situation, we feel all of our feelings. We acknowledge, we process through, we ask for help when we need it, and we move forward in that light of all of the things that are occurring here are occurring for you, to show you what's for you and what's not. And then the last piece of that, filling, the new affirmation code is audios. So we have putting the affirmations in high vibration music and audios. There was time about almost 2 years ago where I listened to audios back to 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 back, because that's what it takes. It takes flooding of the mainframe. Because if you look at your life, all of the things and all of the ways that you have, all the thoughts, all the pieces, the traumas, even the great things, it didn't all happen in 1 second. It happened through and progressively through many, many, years of time. So in order for you to rid those programs, you have to do something out of the ordinary. Do something that isn't what everybody else does. And I mean, it brings me back to what's always said is like, observe the masses and do the opposite. So that is the first part of, beginning the reprogram. And then once you're into the reprogram of it, the next part comes along. This is step number 2 for step 2, part 2. Step number 2 is the routine/ritual. Whichever word you want to use for it, it's your morning routine, your morning ritual. I call it my rising ritual, but that name has changed over time. First it was my morning routine, then it was my morning ritual, and then it was my rising ritual. It's changed. Whatever adheres to you and feels good to you. If you get into rooms with millionaires and billionaires and you ask 5 different ones at different times, what is the key to your success? I would say 4 out of the 5 are going to say their morning routine. And the morning routine is you choosing you first thing in the morning, the first thing you do when you wake up, not touching your phone and letting all the other energies in, like who texts me and who said something on my social media, who. And then you're literally first thing in the morning taking in the energy of those around you, of those in your Instagram, of those in those text messages, and you never know what those messages are going to say. So what if there was a bunch of crazy things that happened, and the first thing you see is a bunch of crazy things? How do you think your day is going to go? How is your mood going to be? How is your energy? So choosing you, and the first thing you awaken in the morning, it floods your system the right way. We start with the first coherent thought is gratitude. If you can go right into gratitude as soon as you open your eyes, even if you don't even open your eyes yet, as soon as you come back to cognition and to the conscious, you can start right away with your goals and your gratitude in your mind. And that is what I do. That is how I begin my routine every morning. As soon as I come to cognition, I say my goals, my 2 main goals to myself, and I say a bunch of gratitude and the things that I'm grateful for. And living and existing in that first thing, it sets the tone. And then what I say here is like, you want to start small on the routine. You want to start small on the routine because we as human beings can get overwhelmed. And if you're setting all these crazy high standards right off the bat, it's so easy for you to only do it for a couple weeks and then fry your mainframe. You have to be able to maintain what you desire. So in order to maintain what you desire, we say start small, really small. When I started my morning routine in 2019, was it 2019? It was the end of 2019. When I started my morning routine, I started with grounding, a 3-minute process after having some very emotional conversations with my mother. And those emotional conversations led to her saying, I've told you to ground yourself for years and years. When are you going to listen? And that was a point of major change for me, because I recognized that my mother had been telling me this for a very long time. And I was in such a vulnerable space that I realized that I was just rebelling against her as an old program. There's no need to do that. So I began with a 3-minute grounding process, which you can go on my YouTube and also see my grounding, shielding Tranquil Thursday that I did. It teaches you the whole process. And the whole process can take literally 3 minutes. Grounding yourself is so important. And I mean, outside if you can. If not, you can ground from anywhere. You can ground from a plane, a high rise. You can ground from anywhere that you are. Grounding your energy outside is great, because the second you step your feet into the land, the grass, the dirt, thousands of electrons flood through your system so fast that scientists cannot even measure it. They cannot even measure it. And it fuels your body with these electrons, and it does so many things for you, including clearing your blood viscosity, which is like, filtering for your system. So grounding is huge. It's a huge thing, and it's such a short, quick process. I suggest starting with a short, quick process. So we have grounding, a 5-minute meditation, and just those two things. If you can get on a schedule with yourself, that routine starts to give you breakthroughs. It starts to bring up traumas that you can heal. It starts to change your ideas, change your mind. It changes your habits, how you feel about yourself. It changes your emotional integrity, your EQ. Just with those two little things. And one of the most important parts of that is 3 weeks is my number, is what I say. Give yourself short bursts of time. And even start smaller than that if 3 weeks is too much. Do 3 days. I utilize the numbers 3, 6, and 9 because they're Nikola Tesla, the most powerful numbers in the universe. And I actually just reconnected with one of my very dear old friends who I hadn't seen in many years, and she is channeling Tesla, and I got to see her channel, and it was very powerful. And we are working together to get her on video. But 3 weeks, try 3 weeks. And like I said, if that's too much, try 3 days. But I'm going to say 3 weeks. Try to do this, the 3-minute grounding and then 5-minute meditation. So that's literally less than 10 minutes for you to take for you every morning. And once you do that for 3 weeks, look at yourself and celebrate you. Celebration and recognition are keys to all that we are doing. That's why we are community-based beings. Because even though we don't need any validation from anyone, the community serves as a foundation of elevation. Like, hey, you got this, buddy. You got this. Everyone needs that, no matter how far up or down or how you see anyone. Billionaire to it doesn't matter how you see it. Every single being needs that support, that elevation, that love, that recognition. I see you out there. I see you doing this. And that tiny bit can fuel you for months. Give it to your friends. Give it to your family. Give it to your loved ones. Give it to your team. Kevin Trudeau is one of the major gurus who speaks on recognition, and how when there are speakers on his stage, he says, the more that you give out as recognition to those up on stage, the more that they are going to energetically give to you. Points of breakthrough. Points of breakthrough are huge. So that morning ritual, rising ritual, morning routine. And then what you do is after 3 weeks, once you've been able to accomplish that for yourself, share it with those around you too. Hey guys, guess what? I made it this amount of time doing these things. And then I'm hoping that the people you have around you and your teams and your families and your friends are going to elevate you in those moments. Man, sis, great job. Keep going. I'm so proud of you. You're doing it. And that's the kind of enthusiasm that we all need. So check who's around you. Because if they're not elevating you, they're taking you down. Even if it's one day. In the beginning, I literally went day by day. And after a few weeks is when I started to realize, oh, I'm actually doing this. I wasn't even acknowledging myself up until then. So acknowledge points are so important. So reprogramming, use your computer code. Control Alt F4, remove the thought. Replace it with a positive line of strategized input. What do you want to be thinking? What do you want to feel? How do you want to move? Because your thoughts connect with your emotions, connect with your actions. So the reprogramming and then the routine. That's steps 2 and 3. There's got to be more emphasis on the routine. So much emphasis. At this point in my life, and I'll be honest, if anybody says, oh yeah, it's so easy, it's not easy. It's not easy. But you can make it easier and easier and easier for you. Because once you do it enough, it literally becomes a lifestyle. Like if I miss pieces of it, I feel weird. I'm like, oh, I'm a little weird and do my one piece today. Sheesh. And then I try to do it another time in the day if I can, or, I try to make it up. But there are days still, even after many, many long times, it's been years that I've been doing this now, and now I'm at a 2-hour morning routine, and I do a long list of things for me before I log on and do meditation mornings for the people. And I got there by practicing it a little by little by little. And then after 3 weeks, I added another little thing, and I attempted to do that for another few weeks. And then I added another little piece. And what you want to add, one of the goals could be to reach a 10-10-10. So 10-minute meditation, grounding, 10-minute meditation, 10-minute reading, 10-minute journaling. So I'll go over what I do on my routine at this point, and then each person can tailor their routine to their needs, to what they love, what makes them feel good. But the bases of the routine are really important: grounding your energy, reading, journaling, and meditation. Those bases. Meditation brings you to your inner world. Reading teaches you about the world, and writing teaches you about yourself. Journaling. So my routine is grounding, meditation, prayer. I then read for 20 minutes, probably about 20 minutes. I write 369 manifestations. I write my goals and my gratitude, which included in goals and gratitude are affirmations and affirmations. I exercise. I listen to an audio most of the time while I'm exercising, unless I'm doing YouTube exercise. And I drink my green juice. That's my routine. That's what I've tailored to myself over the last years. And due to that routine, it literally has changed my entire life. My entire life. We can go into that deeper as well. But every piece of my life and all the 7 pillars, it has changed for me. And you can do the same thing. Because the simple point of it is just that it's about choosing you first every morning. When you choose you, you're giving yourself an energy of stability, of love, that you can breed for all the things that you need to accomplish that you get to accomplish for your life. Each of us has a purpose and a mission. To hold yourself with that routine, that ritual, before anything else happens in your day, you're setting the tone for the entire day. When I started getting more and more and more into my routine and it became longer, and when I got to about an hour-long routine, I was, I was in such a momentum with myself that I was able to go from 6 a.m. in the morning till midnight working and just full of energy, full of joy, full of, and even on the low days, because there are low days, guys. I mean, for everyone, we all have low days because there's so much input coming in. If we didn't have low days, we wouldn't know what high days were. And we wouldn't be able to know that, okay, well, this is something happening. What is happening here? What's the recognition points? What do I need to look at? What am I seeing? What am I not seeing? Why do I feel this way? And then all these questions that you have for yourself can get you through those things. If I didn't have the routine in the morning, none of those pieces would have come out of my life. After long enough meditating and journaling and grounding myself, the idea just hit me like, oh, I really need to work on my body now too. I really need to, I gotta exercise. Because it was me learning to love myself so much that I started to have my own recognitions of, oh, well, I'm doing these pieces, but my body is 400 pounds and I feel like crap. I feel so tired. And then once I added that, it changed things for me majorly. So what are points that you may want to add to your routine? What are things that really work for you or help you or make you feel stronger? And, one of the best questions for yourself is like, write this down if you're taking notes. What is choosing me? What does choosing me mean? Living your life for no one but you. Maintaining those positive vibrations that you're creating by reprogramming. Not allowing the negativity to enter your mainframe. And that's not easy because people bring negativity all the time. And it's up to you in the beginning to say things inside your own mind. If somebody says, oh, well, there's a limit to that, and you this or you that, in your mind, you can be saying, I rebuke what this person is saying. I am limitless. I am boundless. I am a creator, and inside your mind. Because you also don't, you don't want to put it out too harshly, which, I've done myself many times before. It's like, hey, you're so negative, like, chill out. Like, that's not really the way that's gonna break through to assist with the change of that negativity. Kindness and compassion and giving, like being giving, kind, and compassionate are the ways to really be able to root in with people and shake free those old programs. So not allowing those negative things to enter you. Like, if you're just so open and people are talking and things are happening in the news and this and this, and then you just take in all that negative energy without even recognizing that. So you get to set your life standards, even internally, because the person who you're talking to has no idea what you're doing inside you. And that makes so much difference in your energetic field. And, everything you need is already within you. It's just a matter of tapping in and aligning with the greater central sun and yourself and knowing that every single thing is up to you. That's a tough concept at times. To be able to take 100% responsibility and recognize that all of the things that you're seeing in your world, you must take responsibility for each and every one of them. So we are going to do a meditation. One second, let me put some music on. We are going to do a meditation on reprogramming the mind. Get the music here. 1 second. One moment. It's asking me to log in. Whoa. Oh, that's my Baroque music that I listen to while I'm studying. I got that from Neno. You listen to Baroque classical music while you're studying, it increases your focus and concentration. Pro tip from Neno Torres. All right. So you want to get into a comfortable position, take a sip of water, and we're going to begin our meditation on reprogramming the mind. We're going to begin with 3 deep breaths to center our being. We're going to go in through the nose for 4, hold for 4, and out through the mouth for 4. Welcome to the sacred space of transformation, where the power of your mind becomes a canvas for change. Find a serene place to sit or lie down, letting the world around you fade into the background. As you close your eyes, take a deep cleansing breath and let the awareness turn inward. Imagine your mind as a lush garden, vibrant and teeming with potential. The thoughts you nurture are the seeds that determine the landscape of your reality. As you inhale, envision breathing in pure, invigorating energy, filling every nook and cranny of your mental garden. As you exhale, release any stagnant thoughts, doubts, limitations, allowing them to dissipate like the mist in the morning sun. Picture a radiant liquid gold flowing down from above. This light is the elixir of transformation, the key to reprogramming your mind. With each breath, allow this golden light to infuse your thoughts, illuminating and uplifting every corner of your consciousness. Focus on your thought pattern or belief that you wish to reprogram. See it before you like a malleable sculpture waiting for new form. As you touch it with intention, watch it dissolve into particles of light. With love and purpose, reshape it into a thought that serves your highest good, that aligns with your dreams and aspirations. Imagine a pool of still water within your mind's eye, reflecting the truth of your new belief. See yourself stepping into this pool, allowing the water to envelop you in its soothing embrace. Feel the ripples of transformation emanating from the core, radiating outward, touching every thought, every cell of your being. As you bask in this reprogramming pool, affirm your new belief with conviction. Speak it softly to yourself, like a sacred mantra, allowing its resonance to reverberate through your being. Feel the energy of your affirmation. Merge with the energy of the universe, amplifying its potency. With every inhale, draw in the energy of this new belief, allowing it to nourish your mind, body, and soul. With every exhale, release any lingering doubts or resistance, allowing them to be carried away on the breeze. Sense the harmony between your inner world and the world around you. Envision a radiant, luminous thread connecting your reprogrammed mind to the infinite cosmos. This thread is a conduit, manifestation, a bridge between your thoughts and the reality you are weaving. Visualize your desires as shimmering stars sparkling within your reach. As we come to the end of our journey, bring your focus back to your breath, a steady rhythm that grounds you in the present moment. Feel the transformational energy still humming within you, a reminder that you possess the power to shape your thoughts and mold your reality. When you are ready, open your eyes, carrying the newfound clarity and determination within you. Remember, you hold the key to reprogramming your mind and unlocking the world of boundless potential and unlimited possibilities. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me today on Tranquil Thursday. And we are going to end with a prayer. We're going to do a quick prayer. You're so welcome. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Diana. Dear God, thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for your love and your light. Thank you for your protection and your might. May you watch over us and lead us through our illuminated path. May we be protected and loved. May we be united. And so it is. And I wish you all just a fantastic, amazing weekend. And remember, Warrior Spirit loves you.